So I'm not sure when this change actually happened, but it looks like NZXT did a complete overhaul on their pre-build lineups. Previously, they had three main categories: starter, creator, and streaming. And this made it very clear to the buyer who these PCs were built for. Well, now if you go to NZXT's website, you'll see there are still three collections, but with very vague names: Player 1, Player 2, and Player 3. And with each collection is an upgraded version called Prime. So for example, if you take a look at the Player 1 collection, you'll see that you can buy the Player 1 PC for $1,050, or you can upgrade to the Player 1 Prime for $250 more. So this brings up two big questions. Which of these PCs should you be buying, and how much are you overpaying by not just building it yourself? As you take a look at the specs of all these PCs, it becomes pretty clear that the collections are similar to the last ones, just with new names. Let's start with the Player 1 collection, which is basically for gamers who are looking for a solid entry-level PC that can play all of the latest games without breaking the bank. The cheapest pre-build PC is the Player 1 PC at $1,050, but I would say if you can manage to fit the Player 1 Prime PC in your budget, go with that, because you're gonna get twice as much storage, which is really important if you plan on playing games like Call of Duty, and you're gonna get a 3060 Ti graphics card, which is a lot better than the 3050, and you're going to be getting a faster CPU as well. If you were to build the Player 1 PC yourself, you're actually likely to pay about $64 more for the parts, and that is assuming you buy a discounted Windows 11 key for about $20 instead of the full price directly from Microsoft. And by the way, I'll have a link to that deal down in the description, and I'll also have links to the various parts that we are talking about today down below and here in the video. If you were to build the Prime version of this PC, you'd only be saving about $44. One thing to keep in mind is that shipping on these NZXT PCs, at least here in the US, results in a flat $50 shipping fee. So that's something to consider, as you likely are getting free shipping on all the parts that you're buying by yourself. So that would basically even out the cost of the Player 1 PC, and the savings for the Prime PC would be closer to $94 instead of the initial $44 we talked about. The Player 2 collection is basically the old streaming collection. These are two PCs built for those who want to stream their gameplay or simply use the additional power for better game performance. The base model is $1,500 and the Prime version is $2,000, which includes a GPU upgrade from the RTX 3070 to the RTX 4070 Ti. And in a nutshell, I would say if you are someone who just wants to be, playing the latest games with a nice 1440p resolution and get nice high frame rates, the base model is going to do that for you. It's going to be a great PC. You'll be able to stream games on it, but if you're going to be streaming stuff that's a little bit more graphically intense like Call of Duty, I would suggest bumping up to the Player 2 Prime model, as that will be a lot better for those types of games. When I priced out the parts, you'd be saving about $50 if you built the base model yourself, or closer to $100 if you factor in NZXT shipping. And with the Prime PC, you really see the difference. I have the parts coming in at around $1,756, which after you factor in NZXT shipping fee, you'd be saving around $294 if you built it yourself. And you guessed it, the Player 3 collection is aimed at those gamers who are also content creators. So typically the two big focuses in this category is additional CPU, additional RAM, all that for video editing, and then of course storage space so that you can fit your games as well as the video files that you're working with. The base model here is $2,500, and what's interesting is that there really aren't any massive upgrades from the Player 2 Prime PC, despite the $500 hike. You're basically getting a slightly better CPU, a different motherboard, a different cooler, and a different case, and that's about it. The big surprise here is that there isn't a second storage listed, so presumably you're still just getting 1 terabyte. So I would say build this one yourself for about $550 cheaper after you factor in NZXT shipping, or just stick with the Player 2 Prime model. The Player 3 Prime model makes a massive price jump to $3,900, and that will get you a PC that gives you just a top-of-the-line gaming experience and something that can easily double as a streaming or content creation PC. We're talking about a 4090 graphics card, 2 terabytes of storage, 64 gigs of RAM, and a monster CPU. If you were to build this exact PC yourself, you would be able to build it for about $3,700. So not as big of a gap as some of the other builds. You're basically looking at an additional $250 to have an expert build it all for you, get the right drivers installed, and ship it out. And if you're you're someone who just wants to have a top of the line PC sent out to you without the hassle of putting it all together, then perhaps that extra $250 is worth the time that you save. Whatever direction you end up going, you're gonna wanna pair that new PC with a gaming monitor that fits your needs. And for that, I have got a video right over here that you can check out. This will teach you everything you need to know to buy the right monitor at the right price. Enjoy.